With the end of the year rapidly approaching, there are many things dancing in our minds and keeping us awake at night. If you are the owner of a small esoteric healing practice, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taxes. Tax laws are constantly changing, and we have you covered here at Vital Bioenergetics. On Saturday, December 11th, I'll be hosting a 3-hour seminar about how you can find all of the small business deductions that you are entitled to. Then I'll open the floor for your questions about taxes, whether they're related to the course or not. Please sign up for this informative course at www.vitalbioenergetics.com and click on the workshop link. And now for today's podcast.
Welcome to High Vibes with your host, Bill G, and co-host, Nina G. At High Vibes, we're looking into what it means to be a fourth dimensional being in an ever-changing world. We hope that by listening to this podcast, you can feel a greater sense of peace and connection as we collectively raise our energetic vibration to the next level. And now for today's podcast.
Hello and welcome to
High Vibes.
I'm Bill G and I'm here with Nina, and today we're having our frequency upgrade for the holiday season coming up, I guess. I think that's what this is, a lot of this is what it's talking about. Just so that you know, a frequency upgrade, how it works is before the broadcast, I douse certain items and asking Spirit to provide us with some clues about what you need to be listening to right now, whether you are listening to this when it broadcasts or 6 months from now or a year from now. Your time listening to this is exactly what you need to be listening to right now. So today, what we're going to be talking about is keeping bad company. And that's it's a touchy subject because a lot of us feel like we need to seek community, whether it's with our families or whether it's our friends or whatever, and we're seeking to raise our vibration with the people that we keep around us, but oftentimes those people are actually lowering our vibration rather than raising us up.
This can also be a part of, everybody has a lot of kind of anxiety and fear around what's going on in the world right now. And maybe, they are taking extra time to follow the news or to follow people on Facebook. And they're just getting the algorithm treatment. Right. And seeing a lot of negative things, even though maybe there's a lot of positive things out there too, but they're just not seeing that stuff.
Right. I have a client that I've been working with for a while, and what this person was doing was they're very a positive person in general, but they had a certain degree of fear about them, and so they had the news on all the time. And your dad used to do that too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, just having it on as background noise. And
he was always worried.
Mm-hmm,
he just was perpetually worried about what was going on, and telling me, don't ever get old and don't go out in the world because it's a scary place.
Yeah. And what my client was saying was they keep it on just in case something happens. They just wanted to see it, what it was, that way they're not surprised. And
that feeds into a lot of the fear and anxiety that's happening around this time.
Right. And it's like waiting for the next shoe to drop. I mean, that's a horrible place to be if you want to keep your vibration high.
Well, it's a difficult place. People want to be kept informed.
Yep.
And that's really, really understandable. You don't want to just step back and be surprised. But at the same time, like what they're feeding you is a lot of garbage. So.
Right. Okay, so what came up when the dowsing was time temple chart number 4, which is the life path distortions, which is heavily influenced through the law of one. And so the distortion is growth, and the density as second density, law of self-acceptance. And so when we're talking about second density, we're talking about existence. We're talking about survival. using those base instincts to just be in the world and just get along in the world.
Yeah, so what this is saying is that a good part of the population is just like a squirrel out in the yard, like looking, right? What's coming?
Right. And so the Godhead plan in here is ego versus present surrender. And so I think what this is talking about is we are constantly using our egos to define our environments. It goes along with that whole survival thing. Like, I'm going to survive by being the biggest, baddest dog on the block, versus present surrender, which is I'm just going to be a prey animal. I'm just going to just stand here, because we once watched a bobcat take out a squirrel, and it was like the squirrel was just standing there, just waiting to be caught, and it was just grabbed and gone. It's like that squirrel suddenly in that nanosecond decided, okay, I'm food now. And so many of us do that. We just decide, oh, this is too scary. I'm food now. And the bad habit associated with this is keeping bad company. And what is bad company? Bad company is what we listen to, is the people we hang out with. It's a lot of times our own families, people who mean well.
Yeah, and so many people who may be sending you negativity, they do it unconsciously. Like, I'm sure there's so many people who love you who just are meaning so well,
Right.
And they want the best for you, but they're coming through their own filter and through their own stuff. And that stuff probably doesn't work for you.
Right. And the color here is violet. And so the violet vibration here is karma. All we're doing here when we're concentrating only on our present survival, we are not growing. We are simply living in that fear space where it's that kill or be killed, fight or flight.
Or we're playing out like ancestral patterns that, so, we might have done this over and over and over again. And this is part of what our family does over time.
Right. And so when we do the time temple, that is the primary space-time coordinate. And when we do this, we're also looking for the anchoring space-time coordinate. That is the red ray stuff that we want to bring in and bring into our awareness or into our consciousness. And here it's really interesting because it's going into unity and the sixth density, which is the law of one.
Yeah, so what this really means, because I don't know if Bill has explained this, is the first part of this where we talked about this distortion and this bad habit of keeping bad company, the anchoring thing that we want to bring in is unity here, right? Which he has not said yet, but I just said it. And when you look at the thing that you want to bring in your life, it's going to play out as ajita.
Right.
It's going to show you what you need by giving you a lot of stress around particular subjects. And so if you are experiencing stress around family or loved ones or media, or, just friends on Facebook or whatever, this is going to be really for you.
Right, exactly.
Because it's showing you, all your ajita is showing you what it is that you're starting to dump right now, what you don't need anymore, and what you unconsciously know you don't need anymore.
And I love the Godhead plan on here. It's one of my favorites. It's a conscious creation versus unconscious creation. So that is all about, am I going to be a deliberate creator and create what I want? Or am I going to just shut off and allow my life to just unfold the way it unfolds based on whatever my dominant emotion happens to be? Yeah.
So say like you're going to a family situation, which, hopefully will be great. But, maybe there's some stress there or just some judgment there coming from those people who love you. You can really choose to fall into your old patterns when it comes to that, or you can choose to really be yourself and really speak your own truth and in a very compassionate and loving way, just sit in your own body and say, hey, no, that's not how it is. You got that one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it really is to be a conscious creator versus an unconscious one. Because the unconscious one, sometimes we get around our family and say you're a little brother or little sister, right? And your bigger siblings, maybe they're a little harassing, or how they are.
Judgmental.
A little judgmental of you, right? They're looking out for you. They're kind of being a parent in a lot of ways. But if you fall right back into when you were 12 around them, then you know that you are being an unconscious creator at that point. It takes a little bit of effort and forethought to go in with love and an open heart to those people and just be yourself at the same time.
Absolutely. That's great. And then the bad habit here is lack of good judgment. And again, it's about being able to discern, is this person who's giving me this love and appreciation or this judgment or whatever, do they mean well? Am I judging them too harshly? Am I judging them harshly, or are they judging me harshly?
And how can I sit here and again, be myself, even if they're judging? Maybe I don't really have to care if they're judging me or not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I could just sit there and go, yeah, they're having a bad day. Maybe they had too much wine. We've all been there.
Yes.
And they're just saying stuff and they don't really mean it. Maybe they're really stressed out. A lot of people are really stressed out around the holidays, and especially at this time.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not just a bad day, but maybe they had a bad year.
Yeah, maybe they did. So
a lot of us had a bad year. My gosh.
So like the whole goal is to try not to take all that real personally and just go in there deciding that you're going to be open and loving to them, regardless of how they are to you, but you're also going to draw the line and speak your truth if they cross it.
Absolutely. So next we moved over to the Ascension charts, and the Ascension charts brought up the blocking construct of positive energy influences and the religious spiritual construct of negative technology.
Oh, so we all know about negative technology, right?
Absolutely.
And our technology and our media really reinforces our fear, our anger, and our anxiety about the world and about each other, especially now, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, wow, that's really kind of to the point. It's not vague.
And I think the positive energy influence here is the intention.
Yeah.
Everyone intends, when I'm writing a social media post on Facebook and I'm talking about all the terrible things in the world, I'm not doing it because I want to be a negative ninny here. I'm doing it because I want people to know. I want people to be aware of what's happening in the world.
Yeah, see, people are looking out for you in a way. The algorithm is not.
Right.
But, your friends are kind of looking out for you. And the whole thing here is that you don't have to take it on. You can let people have their bad day, and you can let people vent about whatever, because, you don't know what's going on in their life. It's only about when you take it in and take it on and start worrying about it yourself that becomes a problem. And technology does not have to be negative, even if it looks that way.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And that's why we have to be so discerning too about what technology we use, because they've been able to prove that these algorithms are designed specifically to bring up the most negative things possible, because Facebook has decided that that's where the eyes go.
Yeah. So, but you don't have to deal in that.
You don't have to play in that.
No,
game.
you can absolutely go on there again with a loving, open heart, and then just decide that no matter what you see, you're going to not react. You can let it sit there, and absolutely don't push it away. Just let it sit, because everything has to sit with everything else in order to have balance. So that allows you that space to let it just sit there and invite it in for coffee, and then just go, you're not going to affect me, because I know who I am today.
So the last thing we will go to here is the SRT charts with the standard protocol. And here we're just going to the miscellaneous blocks of polarity beliefs with an emotional element of judgment. And again, that's what we've been talking about all
The
this
whole
time.
time, yeah. Other people's judgment of you, and then your judgment of what is around you, and maybe what you're taking in.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is to not do that so much. Try not to.
Right.
It's one thing to say it and another thing to do it, for sure. But to keep it in mind as just something to think about, and maybe stop if you're getting really angry, you're getting really anxious, just stop and take a breath and go, wow, am I judging right now?
And polarity beliefs is all about, well, I'm right, you're wrong, or that's good, that's bad. And it's throwing in that polarity. And we've seen that, especially over the last couple of years, how families have been completely torn apart over certain issues, certain political issues or medical issues. And it's like where you've kindly tolerated somebody else's point of view in the other times where you love them enough that, okay, all right, yeah, Uncle Hal here, he's a little cray cray, but we love him, that's fine. But now it's gotten to a point where, no, Uncle Hal, you are not welcome.
Yeah, and we all have our line, and we all have our fears, and we all have to work through all of those things. But the less that you can do that, the more you can experiment by really getting into your own fear and exposing yourself to things that you are afraid of that maybe other people aren't. You very well may see that, hey, I was really being too judgmental about that, and I don't have to be this afraid.
Absolutely. All right, so now let's take a moment and bring all that in as we begin our meditation. Take a deep cleansing breath. Close your eyes if you can. And let's just allow the high self to come in and bring what we just talked about into our conscious awareness on an energetic level. Let's bring in this awareness that our tendency is to hold on to people, polarity beliefs, things that we believe are right and wrong, out of a sense of low-level survival. And just own that for a second. I'm afraid, so I am going to surround myself with people who either reinforce that fear or dispel that fear, depending on how I want to be inside. And I want you to also bring into conscious awareness that what we want is more of a unity consciousness. To bring in that high self that has absolutely nothing to do but to help and to bring in positive energy. And to understand that we are the creator. We create our own reality. And that reality is often influenced by what we feed our subconsciousness. Am I feeding my subconscious healthy food, positive energy, life-affirming? Or am I feeding my subconscious with fear, distrust, and judgment of others? And take an honest look into your heart with that. Am I being too judgmental? Maybe. If so, let's try to undo that, transmute it, and generate it into something new. And now let's think about our behavior. What am I doing right now? After this podcast is over, what's the other podcasts do I listen to? Are they positive, life-affirming, making me feel good? Or are they bringing my vibration down? Now let's take a moment to think about how we use technology. Am I using technology to raise my vibration? Or am I using it to reinforce my own fears and bring my vibration to a lower level? Let's think about, what do I listen to in the morning? What am I listening to in the afternoon? What kind of television am I watching? What kind of books am I reading? And really take stock of that and see if we can transform any of that into something positive to raise our vibration. If you're traveling for the holidays this year, think about your family and how they make you feel. Are the holidays a stressful time where there's arguments and judgments? If that's your case, before you arrive, resolve to yourself that you will speak your truth and you will hold your truth, but you will not judge others for their truth. Acknowledging that their truth comes from a place within them and they are on a different path than you. Also keep in mind that you love them unconditionally. And that one's a difficult one, because often we think, oh, I will love them only if, and that's conditional love. And no one will rise to your expectations if you throw conditions onto love. Love is unconditional. Creation is built on love. And your life is built on love, if you allow it. If you need to seek a new community because your current community is not working for you, it's keeping you in a low vibration space, and you're always on the defensive, then that's okay too. It's okay to divorce yourself from people who hurt you. Find people who will not judge you and who will love you unconditionally. Put that intention out into the universe. And in return, promise yourself that you will also love without condition. If someone loves you unconditionally, you must return the favor and not judge them for what they're doing or what they're not doing, but just simply love them. And in the process, you will be loving yourself. If you require some assistance in this area, needing to figure out what programs or blocks are preventing me from loving without condition, please go to my website, vitalbioenergetics.com/book online, and set up a free 30-minute consultation so that way we can talk about your individual situation and see what we can do in your first session to identify those blocks, identify the karma, the past life influences, and simply let them go. Thank you. We love you very, very much, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you for listening. For more information about Bill and Nina G, please go to www.vitalbioenergetics.com. See you next time.